Don't embarrass us.
Yes, but one thing that I was wondering about with the Aesop's Fables, he's picked two that are fairly well known, the dog and his reflection and the frog and the scorpion. But Grief and His Due is really kind of unknown. I was wondering what led to choosing that.
I'm going to answer part of it. I'm going to break Terrance off. Well, I'm going to re-answer that question at the end of the night. A lot of people probably don't know what that fable is, and I don't want to give anything away. I want them to watch the movie and enjoy it. But basically what we did is this. There's over 600 Aesop fables. And there's a treasure trove of shit to pick from. You're right. People have heard of the scorpion and the frog, and they have heard of the devil, or the dog and the reflection. We don't want to go with all the most popular ones. I mean, there's so many other great ones in there. So, like, any good research, we're trying to bring new things to light. Maybe ones people don't know and they can discover. But I'll get more specifics. I'll let Terrance answer that question at the end of the night.
Have you seen it yet?
I've not seen it yet, but
Interesting. I want to done your research.
I have. I was very,
Spoiler
very curious.
Yes.
I heard that Gage from the Wayside series ended up doing a lot of the makeup. How did you guys end up?
He actually did the Scorpion's makeup.
We had a great makeup effects team. This guy named Vincent Westini. And we really lucked out. I think we would never be able to afford him. I think he was true. They did it because they liked the material. And he read the script, loved it, and brought in some of the most badass. And I've worked on the Saw films, and I don't think I've ever had anyone as good as the people that worked on this. For nickels. We literally paid them in like Kentucky Fried Chicken and Walmart. That was amazing.
And Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah, he's a badass. Wait till you see the Scorpion throughout this. I mean, they're all great. And Terrance's makeup. I mean, they're all pretty epic.
So you chose the dresses tomorrow and you haven't seen it yet.
No, I based this all on screen caps of what I found from requesting you.
Well, hopefully at the end of the night you'll be like, I picked the right character. Other questions?
Yes, Skylar.
As you guys travel like around the country doing these, do you find that the audience really varies from region to region, or big?
100%.
Absolutely. I mean, more than that. Like, here's what I think is the craziest thing, is that we'll be here tonight in a 100-seat theater, 150. The next night we'll be in an 800-seat theater. And the next night we'll be in a 30-seat theater. The next night it's a 700-seat theater. And each one of the audiences are completely different. The 700-seater could be completely quiet. Just not making a fucking peep, quiet as church mice. And the 30-seat theater can be fucking hailing Satan, hardcore, badass, whatever. You never know. And it's kind of crazy. It's from night to night, you never know. We never know where we're going to end up. And like, literally, we're so busy that I didn't know where we were coming tonight. I really didn't know. I was like, where are we today? What city are we in? And then Lake Geneva, what's that? I've never heard of. What state is that? And what's badass is it's that I kind of will now know the city and state by you guys. Not like whatever you have. You're not the pizza place down or St. Louis by the Arch. It's by the audience. And so now when someone says, you've been there, I think, oh, dude, that's like a Skylar that kissed Terrance on the mouth. Gave him a herpes sore. Yeah.
Apologize.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious when you said I was told.
Out there, you said we can do whatever you pretty much want to.
God damn it, Carly!
They all pointed at you though, Taylor.
What?
Who sent you?
Yes.
So with like more of like the demonic and Satanistic themes, or they could be perceived as such, have you been protested yet? Where Westboro show up at your door? Like
No, but if you guys want to turn them on to us, that'd be great. We were talking about that today. It's kind of crazy. I'm surprised they haven't. No, everything we're doing is in jest. Like, I mean, we do make people walk around screaming, "Hail Satan," but there's nothing satanic about the movie. There's something, as Terrance says, devilish, not satanic. That being said, we do have 6-year-old kids screaming "Hail Satan" every night. There's always it's not to the point that every time I see a kid in the audience, I pull him out and give him a shirt and make him put the shirt on. And the parents love it. I mean, I literally have like maybe 20 shots of little kids, girls and boys screaming "Hail Satan" doing their. But no, we've yet to have a religious group protest. But you know what? I think if a religious group actually saw this, they wouldn't care, because while there is the devil in it, it's morality tales. It's right and wrong. It's good and bad. And there's no nudity. There's no cussing. There's nothing like that. There's just a lot of hailing Satan. Someone else, yes.
So the fandom for like Repo and you guys in general, what's it like?
Do you enjoy it, or is it creepy?
Said the girl with the painted face. I mean, I think it's a little from column A, a little from column B. Now, in all honesty, I think here's the thing. Darren and I are very fortunate. I mean, because the reality is we're families. We're fangirls, to be honest. We write and direct musicals, weird musicals. I put on makeup and play dark characters. You know what I mean? Who strut and sing. So, I mean, the reality is, I mention all that only to say that we create worlds that we love and are inspired by worlds that we were inspired by. So, like, for example, Darren and I are both huge fans of Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
So, the point is, I think we're all very, not only similar-minded, but we are one big dysfunctional family. So,
Yay.
I've been presented with some weird stuff, but I've also dished some weird stuff. So, we're all a team here. I wouldn't have it any other way.
We have time for a couple more questions. Yes, right here.
I have a question for Terrance.
Sure.
Fuck you.
Alright, so, of course, Scandal. Can you growl? You can just say growl in a very low
Growl?
voice. No, low voice. Low.
Oh, in the low voice.
Yeah.
As opposed to this tinny thing. I don't even know. How about this? I'll growl in your ear later.
Okay. I'm not happy tonight. I hate you. I love you too.
Taylor.
To retell, you're going to ask a question for Darren.
Thank you. Thank you.
Which of your films has had an end result most different from what you conceived initially, whether that's good or bad?
11/11. I set out, I don't know if anybody here seen 11/11.
I did.
I set out to make a particular movie, version A. And I turned in, it was version B. And when the movie was released, it was version D. And it was the first time that I've ever had a movie basically be edited behind my back. Not behind my back, I knew they were doing it, but I was so mad at that point that I just like, well, fuck you guys, I'm gonna go shoot Terrance. And I didn't realize how far it was gonna change from what I originally set out to do. I'm a huge fan of like the 1970s religious kind of demonic movies, be it Exorcist or The Omen, but more importantly, Rosemary's Baby. And so I went off and shot a really slow burn, long dolly shot, and nothing happened. And nothing happened for the first 70 minutes. I love that. Nothing fucking happened to these long, freaking 40 or 2 shots. And so I turned in the movie, and it was right under 2 hours. And I loved it. I thought it was really cool. And I got bought right away by this company because they wanted to use my name. If they put on the box from the director of Saw 2, 3, and 4, they know they're going to make money. And so they bought it, and then they said, we want to do some work to it. We're going to make it more commercial. And at the same time, I got offered another movie, The Barons. And I said, all right, what are you going to do? And they said, don't worry, we're going to keep you involved. It's going to be great. And so I met the editor who's going to come in, and I said, okay, fine. So I'm in the middle of shooting, and anyone that's been involved in a project knows that time goes away. You have no time. And so I was consumed on set of The Barons. And so when they would email me, a lot of times I wouldn't read it. I would just go on and keep shooting The Barons. I finally flew back into LA to watch the movie, and I literally, for the first time probably ever, broke down like a baby and just started bawling. Like I was like, this is gonna kill my career. Like this is not. So I turned in a movie that was like 114 minutes, and the movie they showed me when I went back was 78 minutes. So they took out 40 minutes of the movie. And they didn't change much, they just cut shit and made it jump cut. They basically tried to make it look like Saw by doing jump cuts where it was never conceived. So if you were watching Rosemary's Baby, there's a long dolly shot. They did that, but they would go coo, 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 but to cut time out. And it looked really stupid because there was nothing scary, like that's not the movie I shot. Then, the trailer, I don't know if anyone ever saw the trailer, they did this really, really bad narration. It was like, it said, on this day, on this time, you are fucked. And like, I knew they were gonna do it, and I thought it sounded awesome until I actually saw the trailer, and then I cried again. That being said, it's kind of crazy. A lot of people have come up on the tours that they really liked the movie, and they responded to it. It's just not, it was not the movie. But with Repo, I can say that I made, my vision was 80%. I made 80% of what I wanted to with Repo. Mother's Day, I made 82% what I wanted. And I can actually look at the movies and say, that's 82% my vision. On 11/11, it's about 35%. And that being said, I learned a great deal, and I'm not mad at it. They try to make the movie more commercial. I shot a very uncommercial movie. So I would say 11/11. Good question. One more question, and then we have to let the plebeians in. Yes.
So, Terrance, I know that when you started writing Repo, it started off as a 10-minute play. And I'm wondering, how do you come up with your ideas for writing the different genres of music that you then blend into this? Or, you know, like Repo, the styles of music is so varied. You know how?
Music for the Carnival yet?
I've heard 2 songs.
Well, you're hearing some of the instrumentals right now.
Mhm.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, Repo, I wouldn't even call Repo, the Black Box, when it first started off, 10-minute pieces, I wouldn't even call them, I mean, they were more performance art than anything else. And Darren Smith, the co-composer, and I were just kind of figuring out something we wanted to do musically. We did all these different 10-minute operas, and they all were very, not only stories different, but the musical stylings were different. And one of them, called The Necro Merchant's Debt, ended up becoming Repo. And in many ways, I think the spirit of that initial 10-minute thing kind of remained in the movie, although it clearly grew and blossomed. But I mean, I guess in answer to your question is very slowly and through a lot of revisions. With the music in this, I'm really proud of it, and I hope you guys like it by the end of the night. I wanted to really challenge myself to not just repeat what we did with Repo. So Repo obviously is very futuristic and industrial, and there's a lot of heavy metal influences and operatic influences and a lot of programming and sort of electronica elements, trying to evoke the future. So this, on the other hand, is sort of old. It's Aesop. It's Carnival. So I intentionally said this score, these songs can have nothing electronic in it, and instead really composed music for a small circus band. So it's about 5 brass pieces, a couple of strings, and some junkyard percussion, and that's it. And it can be played live in a room, and literally, and I've said this a couple times, but tuba is the central instrument in this score. And to me, if you can make tuba rock, it's more metal than Slayer.
Cool.
Guys, for everyone else in, we'll see you after the show.
Thank you so much.